It was a floating palace, a marvel of modern engineering, hailed as the ship that could never sink. On the night of April 14, 1912, the RMS Titanic was slicing through the calm, icy waters of the North Atlantic on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York. On board over 2,000 souls, from the wealthiest industrialists to hopeful immigrants, were wrapped in a sense of security and luxury. The orchestra was playing, the crystal was gleaming, and the future seemed as bright as the starry sky above. But in the deep, frigid darkness, destiny was waiting. Just before midnight, lookouts spotted it, a colossal shadow dead ahead, an iceberg. Panic erupted on the bridge. Hard as starboard, the engines were thrown into reverse, but it was too late. The massive ship, traveling at over 20 knots, couldn't turn in time. The iceberg grazed along the starboard side, not with a massive crash, but with a subtle, horrifying grind. Below the waterline, the steel plates, once thought to be impenetrable, were gashed open like a can. 6 of its 16 watertight compartments began flooding immediately. The designers had planned for 4 to flood, but never 6. The unsinkable ship was now facing a mathematical certainty. It was going down. At first, many passengers didn't even notice. Some felt a slight shudder, others thought the engines had just stopped. On the upper decks, people came out of their staterooms, curious but not alarmed. Some even playfully kicked around chunks of ice that had fallen onto the deck. The ship's officers tried to maintain calm, but as the bow started to dip noticeably into the water, a quiet unease turned into stark terror. The wireless operators, Jack Phillips and Harold Bride, frantically sent out distress signals, tapping out CQD and the new SOS into the cold night air, hoping for a miracle. The order was given: women and children first into the lifeboats. But here the tragedy deepened. There were only enough lifeboats for about half the people on board, a flaw in regulations that hadn't kept up with the size of these new superliners. Worse still, in the confusion and chaos, many boats were launched half empty. Stories of heroism and sacrifice began to unfold. Millionaire Benjamin Guggenheim famously changed into his finest evening wear, saying, "We've dressed up in our best and are prepared to go down like gentlemen." The ship's band, led by Wallace Hartley, played on, their music providing a surreal and courageous soundtrack to the unfolding disaster. Their final song is believed to have been the hymn, "Nearer, My God, to Thee." As the stern rose higher and higher out of the water, the scene became apocalyptic. The lights, which had burned brightly for so long, finally flickered and died, plunging the ship into total darkness. The immense strain on the hull became too much. With a sound like thunder, the Titanic broke in two between the third and fourth funnels. The stern section settled back into the water for a moment before rising vertically one last time, a dark silhouette against the stars, and then began its final 2-mile journey to the ocean floor. In the freezing water, hundreds of people fought for their lives, their cries echoing across the silent sea. The few lifeboats that returned found a scene of devastation. In less than 3 hours, the grandest ship in the world was gone. Over 1,500 people lost their lives that night, a staggering loss that sent shockwaves around the globe. The sinking of the Titanic wasn't just a maritime accident, it was the end of an era of blind faith in technology and a stark reminder of the power of nature. Its story continues to haunt us, a timeless tale of human ambition, fatal pride, and the fragility of life itself. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as captivating as we do, please like this video and subscribe for more dives into history's most compelling moments.